I'm one of the very few South African businessmen standing up and calling out the ANC government for their anti-American, anti-Semitic, kleptocratic, ineptocratic, and racist policies. Most South African corporates are keeping very quiet or have been captured by the state. The ANC have been in power for over 30 years and have taken us backwards, deindustrialized the country, and will soon destroy our economy and further impoverish our people. It is a combination of incompetence and malevolence. Our population growth exceeds our economic growth, and you know what that entails and what that means for our country. And this country isn't a victim of history, it's a victim of the ANC and its racist and socialist ideologies. Here are the facts. On the 17th of March 2025, you, Mr. Trump, correctly stated South Africa is a place where the human rights of people have been strenuously questioned. And on the 7th of February 2025, you signed an order titled Addressing Egregious Actions of the Republic of South Africa. We have an unemployment crisis. Over 42% of South Africans are unemployed. And we have a crime epidemic. South Africa has one of the highest violent crime rates in the world, 84 murders per day. Our infrastructure is failing. We have rolling electricity blackouts from Eskom, our state-owned utility, and we're back to implementing what's called stage 6 load shedding. And the ANC is silent. Why? Because their lies and excuses aren't working anymore. There's a global hypocrisy. South Africa aligns with authoritarian regimes, yet demands preferential Western trade deals. And you've noticed. What is the truth behind these numbers? This isn't a slip-up. It's 30 years of socialist misrule, corruption, anti-white racism, and incompetence. Basically, the ANC playbook. The ANC governs like it's entitled to power, while the country falls apart as a result. South Africa is treated like a miracle democracy by useful idiots like the European Union and leftists generally, par for the course, because it suits global elites to keep the post-apartheid fairy tale alive. But there's nothing miraculous about economic collapse, criminal governance, and state decay. Nothing. The West has been cowardly and complicit, refusing to call out this ideological disaster in real terms. And on the international stage, the ANC government has gone out of its way to provoke you, the United States, and has certainly not been a neutral actor by any stretch of the imagination. Let me give you some examples. They've openly taken a side in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. They've brought the ICJ genocide case against Israel, most likely funded by Iran, and they've got an increasingly cozy relationship with China and Iran, alongside an increasingly hostile relationship with the United States. And it has been confirmed that South Africa is among the countries in the United Nations that is most likely to vote against the United States. That should say it all. But in addition, in 2018, South Africa's ambassador to Venezuela announced that South Africa would provide military support to the Venezuelan government to fend off what the ANC believed was a threatening US invasion. He later retracted these comments and apologized, but be that as it may. And in 2019, the ANC sent a senior delegation on a solidarity visit to provide moral support to Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro. The ANC's government stance on Venezuela is not surprising when one considers that it has repeatedly endorsed dictators, authoritarian regimes, and human rights abusers, such as Muammar Gaddafi, Robert Mugabe, Hugo Chavez, Omar el-Bashir, Fidel Castro, and let's not forget Stalin and Lenin, and even Mao Zedong. Nice list, that. In 2008, the ANC proposed that the roads between which the American embassy is situated be renamed Fidel Castro and Che Guevara streets, respectively. And in February 2019, the government of the US, Germany, the UK, and the Netherlands, and Switzerland wrote to the President of South Africa warning him that failure to act against corruption would hamper his bid to draw foreign direct investment to South Africa. What was the ANC's response? They lashed out, describing the letter as a threat from imperialist forces and latter-day colonialists. And in January 2020, members of the ANC and its alliance partner, the South African Communist Party, protested outside the US Embassy in Pretoria, chanting, and I quote, "One bullet, one American."
Bullet, one American. One bullet, one American. The amount of cowards criticizing the indigenous people of the area with the America. The amount of story was India.
To add insult to injury, the South African government also planned to rename the road on which the US consulate is located after the terrorist Leila Khalid. And the latest special envoy to America, appointed by President Cyril Ramaphosa after Abraham Rasool was kicked out, was Mr. Msebeni Jonas, who has spoken openly against President Trump, calling you a racist and narcissist right-winger. And Jonas is chairman of MTN, which holds a major stake in Iran's second largest mobile operator. Many South Africans like me want America to intervene, as we are unable, due mainly to politics and demographics, to turn this ship around internally. Under the ANC, South Africa is heading into the abyss. We are going backwards. As a result, I cannot thank you enough for paying attention to South Africa, as I know how many other priorities you have, domestically and internationally. Thank you. Based on your holy trinity on foreign matters, does it make America safer? Does it make America stronger? Does it make America more prosperous? I would like to give you some advice, if I may, on what to do here, and I'm at your disposal to help make it happen. Let's begin. I've got 6 suggestions, if I may. Firstly, immediately appoint a special envoy attached to the US Embassy in South Africa, but based in Cape Town, to monitor the situation regarding the rights of ethnic minorities in this country, updating the ambassador and the White House on a regular basis, and making policy recommendations. This envoy would most likely be an American living in South Africa, or would move here, but you could even consider a South African highly respected by the USA. Examples could be Americans with extensive experience in Africa and South Africa, specifically like maybe Colonel Chris Wyatt or human rights advocate Matt Chansey, or even distinguished South Africans like Gary Player, whom I know you know well, or Rian Barnard. There are many others you could consider, and I'm sure you have a long list. But this special office would be dedicated to coordinate and promote efforts to improve protections and respect for the fundamental rights and self-determination of ethnic minority communities in South Africa who have suffered unjust racial and economic discrimination by the ANC-led government over the last 30 years, but mostly over the last 10 years. Your envoy would coordinate with allies within South Africa's government and international bodies like the United Nations to put pressure on the ANC-led government to abandon race-based discrimination laws